Hello, and welcome back to National Busway's Midland Bluebird, here at the Cumbernauld garage just to the northeast of Scotland. And, well, Merry Christmas! I know, I'm uploading on Christmas. I'm not actually recording this on Christmas Day, well, obviously I'm not, this went up at 6 AM, but, you know, I'm not recording this at Christmas Eve. It's currently 23:42 on the 23rd of December as I'm recording this, so yes, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas Eve, and if you're watching this in the evening, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas Day. If you're watching this as it goes live, I hope Christmas Day is going to be wonderful for you. Anywho, Christmasing out of the way, and I've done a map expansion, because you know what, it's Christmas. So, yes, this is Cumbernauld. Very familiar with Cumbernauld. We have a massive town network going on here, using a whole bunch of Optare vehicles, and some regional routes from Cumbernauld that also use Optare Excels specifically. And I did a north map expansion, so we had, you might remember we had Auchinstary before, so anything north of sort of here is new, so we now have all of Kilsyth. This is Denny, which is just south of Stirling, which is very nice because it means we'll be able to extend the X20, finally. Down into Kirkintilloch, we have the top side of Milton of Campsie, we have Lennoxtown, we have Clachan of Campsie, Strathblane, which goes down into Milngavie, and then the countryside, which is very nice. And we have Balloch up here, with its two roads into it, then up to Cardross and Helensburgh. And we are going to be doing some Glasgow services out this way, actually. Probably the two longest daytime Glasgow services. Both are going to run from the city centre out, and it's going to be a pain. It's going to be a nightmare, but that's not for this week. This week we're playing around with our lovely blue buses, but first, Cumbernauld is actually full, so I'm going to place down at the other end of the building a Cumbernauld Shed 2. And Cumbernauld 2 is going to be home to, going forward, it's going to be going home to, is going to be home to the Quicksilver services X4 and X20, as well as Midland Bluebird. So we're going to split the Glasgow operation between both sheds, with the 20 going to Shed 1 and the Quicksilver's going to Shed 2. But this is Depot 24, which is, wow, this is CD Shed 2, not that, CD Shed 2, and this is going to say NBWS, currently it's just going to say NBWS Midland, or NB Midland Bluebird. There we go. So, that's now set up. I need to hire some stuff. I need drivers. Sort by friendliness. I don't know how many we'll need. I've got an idea of what routes I roughly want to put in. It's just going to be 3 of those, and we'll see how it goes. So, I'm going to hire a few more. And get a few more. And is that going to be enough? That's 40, probably not. Right, that's 64 bus drivers, that should be enough. So, where are we going to start? Where do we begin? And I think we begin in familiar territory, and that is looking at the 321 and complementing it. So, what I'm going to have is the X21, which is going to start at Cumbernauld Town Centre, run down to the railway station, join this dual carriageway, then come across to join this dual carriageway, and then run fast down through here, into Airdrie on this side, and just running through the side of Airdrie, past Chapel Hall, and into Motherwell. And that is going to be the X21. So let's find our colour here. And get straight in to the first new Midland Bluebird service, in the form of the X21, from Cumbernauld to Motherwell. And there is the X21, from Cumbernauld to Motherwell via Cumbernauld Station, Airdrie, Chapel Hall and Carvin. It's a bit of a long route, about 16 miles each way, about 45 minutes each way. So it's certainly got some heft to it, but it is a very fast route, which is what we want from our X prefix routes. So, I'm going to get this timetabled, and I'll bring you back when the timetable has, you know, an image about it. And the timetable for the X21 is now complete, running up to every 30 minutes between Cumbernauld and Motherwell during the week, and every 60 minutes on Sundays, for a total vehicle requirement of 5. Oh well, 4, but call it 5 or 6. Just to make things easier for me. And we'll activate that later. Next, I'm looking at a new route over to Milngavie via Kilsyth, Queenseyburn, Milton of Campsie, Lennoxtown, Clachan of Campsie and Strathblane, then heading down into Milngavie. Now there's there's 2 different ways you can go into Milngavie. You can come in from here and then go straight back out, or you can go through Blainfield and go this way around the back and come in like that, which I might do. But then there's also this road, which really isn't any better in terms of serving Strathblane, but then I think this is like the village centre, so maybe I don't need to worry and I can just go straight down the direct road. I'm completely unsure, as you can probably hear from the tone of my voice. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the direct road, because this route will be long enough. And I'm going to go to the 300s just to check what routes we've got in use. We have a 326, that's annoying. We don't have a 324. Or a 325. Or a 328. Or a 329. I'm going to use 325 for the route from Cumbernauld up to Milngavie. So that's going to be standard bus route, and this is going to be the 325 from Cumbernauld to Milngavie. Starting at Cumbernauld Station rather than the town centre, because the town centre's got so much going on already. And the 325 is now in place between Cumbernauld Station and Milngavie Station via Cumbernauld Town Centre, Kilsyth, Milton of Campsie, Lennoxtown. I'm doing this from my brain. Kilsyth, Milton of Campsie, Lennoxtown, Clachan of Campsie, and Strathblane. It's a monster. It's over 20 miles each way. And it's going to use the same buses as the X21. But that is the first of two regional services this week. The next one is going to be from Kirkintilloch. Is it? No. Where is it going to be from? I don't know. I'll work it out while I'm making the timetable for the 325. And the timetable for the 325 is now complete, running up to every half hour during the week and up to every 45 minutes on Sundays between Cumbernauld and Milngavie. And we'll activate that in a moment. Now I'm just going to check what I've got in terms of map. And I think... what do I have down here? We have Glenboig. We do have Glenboig. But I don't want another local service from Cumbernauld. We've had so many of those. Oh dear. I think it's time to branch away from Cumbernauld and look at Kirkintilloch. Specifically, look at going this way, through Kilsyth, but staying north, and for now terminating something at Bonnybridge. In future, that bus would then go to Larbert or Cumbernauld or Falkirk. Probably Falkirk. But where is that going to run from? Let's have a look at Kirkintilloch. This is Kirkintilloch. Very nice place, I assume. It looks decent. So, Lenzie Station is down here. We could turn it around at Lenzie Station. Could do that, actually. In fact, that's what we'll do. So, this is going to be the 324. Kirkintilloch to Bonnybridge for now. But it will be extended to Falkirk when I get the map. That's going to be standard bus route. And once again, this is going to be the 324 from Kirkintilloch Lenzie Station to Bonnybridge. The 324 is now in place between Kirkintilloch Lenzie Station and Bonnybridge via Milton of Campsie, Queenseyburn, Kilsyth, Banknock, Hags, Longcroft and Denny Lonehead. Once I have the map, we'll be extending the 324 across to Falkirk, and that will make this a very long route indeed. But as it stands, it is about 16.5 miles each way, and takes, before timing points, 2 hours to do a return journey. That return journey time will take a little bit longer once I've done the timetable, so let's get right on that. And the timetable for the 324 is now in place, with service running up to every 15 minutes during the week between Lenzie and Bonnybridge, and every 45 minutes on Sundays. So, I'm going to get all of these routes activated, which is the X21, 324 and 325. Then I will bring you back when we're in the paint shop looking at the bus that we're going to buy for these 3 routes. And this is the fleet that we're going with for the extension to Cumbernauld. So, for those of you who are aware of the lore and backstory and the sort of the quirks of Midland Bluebird busways, or National Busways Midland Bluebird as they are back in these days, is that they buy almost exclusively from Optare. And the predicament that we're in this stage of the playthrough is that I've decided we're at the start of 2005 or so the Optare Excel is no longer a thing. We can't get any more of those. But we don't have an Optare Tempo in the game. At least not a good one. I think there is like a kit bash of one of the default buses, but I'm not going to do that. This series deserves better. But for a brief period in the early 2000s, Optare retailed in the UK a right-hand drive version of the Renault Iris bus Agora. Specifically the Agora line variant designed for interurban work, which is what we're looking at here. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's taken to the Midland Bluebird livery so well. And just the shapes that it's got play into the shapes on the new images livery so well. And I've decided that we're going to have the orange slash here, which indicates proximity to Glasgow, rather than having everything be blue. I think that it breaks it up, it makes it look very nice. And, you know, we really aren't that far from Glasgow. So, this is Midland Bluebird's Renault Iris Bus Optare Agoras, or Optare Renault Iris Bus Agoras. We've got 22 of the things, because of course we do. And these aren't going to be the first ones, because I think Optare started selling these in 2002. But there's not going to be many of these, because again, there weren't many Excels. So, this is going to say Midland Bluebird. Then the route panel is going to say CD for Cumbernauld. And the fleet number is going to be OA. I'm going to say that we've had 18 of them already. So these are very young fleet. So this is OA19 and the license plate is going to be SJ54 FGA. And I will get the rest of these done in a happy little jump cut. And finally, we have SJ54 FGY, better known as OA40. So these are our brand new Renault Agoras, sold by Optare. So are these Renault Agoras, Iris Bus Agoras, or Optare Agoras? I don't know. I'm going to call them Renault Agoras because Renault originated the design. Not many people associate Renault with being a bus manufacturer, but you know, the Agora, it's a good looking bus as well. They did pretty good job for their first attempt, it has to be said. And we have plenty of buses, that's always good. Do we have enough for tomorrow though? Because that's the real test. The day after. Easy. Easy. But tomorrow is tomorrow is future me's problem. In the meantime, I will see you. I'll rejoin you again when there's something to look at on the X21, 324, or 325. So it is now time to join OA40, better known to the DVLA as SJ54FGY, on its first run of the 325 from Milngavie to Cumbernauld via Kilsyth, amongst others. It is 2:30 in the morning. It is officially now Christmas Eve. So yeah, I've been recording for a very long time because this save is not happy with me. Which honestly valid. I've given it 16 gigs of RAM to work out of, and naturally that's not gonna go well. But anywho, I'm gonna stop talking and, cut out until we start moving. That appears to not be necessary because we're going now? Yes. Slowly and laggily, but we are indeed moving. But the game has done an autosave, so we should be pressing on with a little bit more gusto than we left Milngavie station. I'm not happy with how zoomed in we are. One click on my scroll wheel was decent. Good. When the game starts to get laggy, you can never tell. Scrolling starts to behave really weirdly. But here we are. We're running through the countryside now on our way into Strathblane, which I assume there's a lot of hills going on between Milngavie and Strathblane, because both of the main roads to Milngavie have switchbacks on them, which you tend not to see in the UK, because the UK is relatively flat, generally speaking. And generally speaking, you don't need to go up or down a hill to get anywhere. But popping into Clachan of Campsie, maybe it could be a thing where on a Sunday the 325 doesn't serve Clachan of Campsie, but at the moment I've got it serving all stops all week, just to keep things easy for me. We're now coming down through Lennoxtown, which it would be helpful if I had OpenStreetMap open off to the side so that I could see where we were in a little bit higher frame rate. Lennoxtown, well, we're coming through Milton of Campsie now, which, we've got a fairly good number of people on board. We're not overly busy, which is nice. And the 324 and 325 are basically right behind each other. That's worked incredibly well. No, it hasn't. But both looked like they had a decent number of people on board, so we're fine. And now coming through Kilsyth, which is where the 324 and 325 split apart from each other again, with 324 going off to the east, while the 325 continues to the south as we are doing. Going through Auchinstary, or is it Auchinstary or something? I don't know. And Croy, which is of course where the station of the same name is on the Edinburgh-Glasgow line via Falkirk High. In fact, there's the station right there. And coming in to Cumbernauld via a mess of roundabouts, and weaving our way between the myriad of local services in the area. But that is about to arrive at Thingy, and here is an X21 going to Motherwell via Airdrie. This leaves at 15:13. And there we go. We are now on our way to Motherwell via Airdrie on the X21. This one goes via Cumbernauld Station, so I could have stayed on the 325, but I thought let's do a full run of the X21. Passing the bus garage and Greenfold Station, before joining the fast road to head down towards Airdrie, making a brief stop along the way for interchange with the 321, which is where this service derives its number. A stop there and a stop there for interchange with 321. Now we're 2 minutes late. That's not great. I was fairly conservative with my timing points, so these might not be as reliable as my services usually are. But we're now heading through Airdrie and back out, and we are very busy heading down towards Chapel Hall. I wonder if we're busy because we're the fast bus. Either way, just past the Airdrie bus garage, which is where the Airdrie local network is based, and coming through Chapel Hall, which is the end of the A1. Before running cross-country down towards Carvin and Motherwell. With an absolutely full bus, I've just noticed that. That's not great. From a comfort perspective, from a profit perspective, that's absolutely brilliant. That's what you want to see. But, you know, I like to imagine that National Busways care about the levels of comfort provided, and having a full bus is not how you show that. But nevertheless, we are now arriving at Motherwell 2 minutes late. So now we have one route left to cover, and that is the 324 from Bonnybridge, which we're a little bit late for it, but one has just left Bonnybridge, coming through Denley Loanhead. There we go. One more. There we go, that'll do. So to round things off, we're following SG54FGN, I can't remember the fleet number of that one, through Banknock, and we're going to take it all the way to Kirkintilloch Lenzie Station, via Kilsyth and Milton of Campsie, and of course Kirkintilloch Town Centre. But the 324 will in time be extended to Falkirk. I'll probably do that when we have an Optare Tempo, and I will switch this route over to use Tempos. Because Optare Tempos are very nice. But this is where we start following the 325, and we follow it stop for stop, turn for turn. Until we get to Milton of Campsie, where there is a sort of road junction. But we'll get there when we get there. We're currently 1 minute late, which isn't terrible, but not great. And we have 33 people on board, which is a good number to have, because I think that means basically every seat is full. Now definitely every seat is full. And now the bus is getting towards 2 full. But we are nearly there, coming in through the top of Kirkintilloch. Still 1 minute late, but oh well, what can you do? Now following a 145 as well. And that's going to take a different route to Lenzie Station, I believe. Yes, the 145 is going local through the estate, whereas we go straight past it. And then we go this way. Oh no, the 145 also might come down this way. Yes, the 145 does. But then the 145 terminates on the northern side of the station, whereas we terminate in this estate to the southern side. And a bus can turn around there, that's a car park. But that is all we've done today. All 3 routes, X21, 324 and 325. Along with our beautiful Optare / Renault / Iris bus Agoras, which I think are just beautiful. And on that note, I will see you next week. In fact, I will see you next year from National Busways, West Scotland. Bye bye.